Hi and welcome. My name's Tolan and I'm the co-founder of ProductivityMe. In this video, we're going to look at how to use the keyboard shortcut of Ctrl Home in order to go to the first cell currently visible on our worksheet. So with that, let's get started. Now in our last video, we looked at the idea of using the keyboard shortcut Ctrl End. Ctrl End would jump to the last cell in our worksheet that has been active at some point, meaning that at some point it had data in it. So again, we press Ctrl End, it would move to this cell because at some point we had input data here. If we had input data into this cell, then when we press Ctrl End, it will move to this cell. Now, if we want to get to the most recent cell that we have visible here on the top of our worksheet, we can, instead of pressing Ctrl End, we press Ctrl Home. Pressing the Control key and the Home key will jump to the current cell here. In our case, it would be A1. Now, there's a little bit of a difference. If you were to hide a cell, or hide a column rather, we'll say go to here and we'll go to hide column. Now, originally when we press Control Home, it would jump to cell A1, but currently we have hidden column A. So now when we press Control Home, it will move to column B1. If we were to hide, say, all of these columns, just for fun, we're going to do this the hard way. We'll just scroll. We'll say hide. Now, what do you think would happen if and when we press Control Home? Because cell A, well rather columns A through whatever is before H are hidden, then we can't jump to those because they're no longer visible. So when we press Control Home, it would jump to row H1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select all of our cells by hitting Control A several times. We're then going to go to Format, Hide, Unhide Columns. And now all these columns are visible. So because these columns are visible, we then press Control Home and it would jump back to cell A1. So using the keyboard shortcut Control Home and Control End will really depend on what cells, what columns, what rows are visible. If all of your cells are visible and all of your columns are visible, then pressing Control Home will presumably go to cell A1. However, if you had hid individual items, or maybe you group them by pressing Alt Shift right arrow and then you minimize those, then when you press Control Home, it would go to the column, the first column and the first row that you have visible. In this case, it would be H1. In this video, we looked at Control End as a brief review from our last video, and then we focused on the keyboard shortcut of Control Home, which would jump to the first cell that is currently visible in your worksheet. Now, we've now completed the idea of the section of keyboard shortcuts that have to do with navigating more efficiently in Excel. In our next video series, in our next section, we'll look at keyboard shortcuts for making a selection. Keyboard shortcuts like Shift Spacebar, Shift Click, Shift Control Click, Shift F8, or Control Spacebar. Things that will allow you to select an entire row, quickly select an entire column, or perhaps an entire worksheet. So if you're interested in keyboard shortcuts that will allow you to more efficiently select text, to select inputs, to select numbers, go ahead and join us for that series. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. As always, thanks for watching.